How many of you have ever sat down at a Chinese restaurant only to overhear an ongoing conversation between two or more employees of Chinese culture and wonder to yourself exactly what it is that they are talking about? Through my studies on intercultural communication, I have strengthened my former belief of required competency for other cultures and co-cultures. With today's rapid onset of vast globalization, intercultural communication is something each of us is going to experience throughout our lives. Today I'm going to be discussing the different aspects of intercultural competency. What is intercultural competency, why it's important, and some benefits that can result from its development. So let's get right into it. So what is intercultural competency? Well, Dennis Ramon, a graduate student at the University of the Incarnate Word in 2013, stated that cultural competency is the ability to be aware of and understand the differences of factors that shape an individual's or a group's identity. So cultural competency is just being aware of the individual factors that plays into everybody's lives that make them who they are today. So this becomes intercultural competency when that individual or group is able to work through and put aside those differences to form a working relationship. Intercultural competency is looking through different cultural perspectives at situations. It is remaining open-minded through your interactions with these different cultures. It is being respectful. So, why is intercultural communication and competency important? Well, according to our Human Communications textbook, 4th edition, published by Judy Pearson in 2011, there's an influx of diversity among American society. Things like refugees, foreign-born immigrants, and aliens. You know, we have a very diverse culture going on here in America. It makes it impossible for any of us to avoid these intercultural communications. It is evident in all of our lives that we will experience this in every region of America. So, it is important to retain intercultural competency to improve the quality of these communications and to retain the most information you can from these experiences. Without intercultural competency, the quality of these communications, of these interactions, are going to be very poor, and you will be limited to what you can retain information-wise from these experiences. When it comes to intercultural competency in the mind, Motaba Khatami from the Department of English Language at the Islamic Azad University and Mozgan Hassankiyadeh from the Ministry of Education at Gilan, Iran in 2015 released a study that had been conducted on Iranian EFL learners to determine the correlation between critical thinking skills and intercultural communication. The two had come to a conclusion that there was a positive linear relationship between the two. Not only does an increase in cultural competency improve interactions with those of other cultures, but it also has a direct correlation to critical thinking skills. So it leads to a higher function and capabilities of the mind. You know, you have to critically evaluate these situations in order to get the appropriate level of communication between you and someone of a separate culture. From the ASHE Higher Education Report, published by John Wiley and Sons in 2012, they talk about a few benefits that result from intercultural competency development. The first result or benefit would happen to be that intercultural competency creates new categories of the mind, adjusting their thinking process to new emerging knowledge. So, with this in mind, you create different categories for different cultures that you interact with when you use competency. You know, when you interact more with, say, someone of Islamic culture, your category in your mind grows and expands with the knowledge that you retain from all these interactions, and so forth with different cultures and co-cultures in your mind. The second benefit being, intercultural competency helps manage stress and anxiety of the uncertain, which makes sense, because when we enter these intercultural communications with confidence, we are confident in ourselves and our abilities to properly and adequately exchange information. You know, we don't worry about miscommunication, misinformation. We don't worry about those things. It decreases our level of stress and anxiety with our situations. So with all this information in mind, it is easy to see how intercultural competency is beneficial to the quality of future intercultural communications. Intercultural competency opens doors for new learning experiences in which we learn and grow from, in which we thrive from. You know, we're thriving species. We thrive off of human communications. We thrive off of interactions with others. It may be the knowledge aspect, the aspect of gaining knowledge from others. And what better way to gain more knowledge than from those of separate cultures? There is so much more to learn from people who are different from ourselves. So it is important to remain competent through these communications. My hope is that now you understand how developing intercultural competency is important to the future quality of intercultural communications. Maybe through interactions with those of Chinese culture, using your newly formed intercultural competency, you may just be able to comprehend the verbal discussion between the two Chinese employees at the Chinese restaurant. I appreciate everybody's time, and I want everybody to keep in mind intercultural competency, remain open, remain respectful, remain open to new ideas, and just remain competent. Thank you.